Were you told a childbirth horror story when you were pregnant by a well-meaning relative or a friend who wanted to just prepare you for the reality of giving birth? Maybe you were, maybe you weren't. Do you think that mothers should be banned from sharing their birth stories to avoid scaring new mums in particular?
It's very interesting why today all of a sudden it's in the news, because it's on the front page of the Times today. And you said it before in the link, it's tocophobia. I'd never actually heard of that word, didn't know what it was. But they say psychological disorder known as the fear of pregnancy and birth. The phobia can be associated with depression and post-traumatic stress, and is believed to be overlooked by some medical professions. And then on social media, I don't do social media, but apparently it's absolutely wild in terms of the stories that they put on there, you know, one trying to outdo the other. From my perspective, I just think that anybody who's pregnant, they know it's not going to be a picnic. You know you're in for something, like, let's face it. But I do believe that the pain you suffer with childbirth, you forget after a while, because the benefit and the joy of the baby, and in time you forget. The only thing I did not forget was the rubber ring, because I had a lot of stitches after Karen was born, and I seemed to be on that rubber ring for weeks on end. Anyway.
My sister used to literally salivate when she was telling me about her birthing story. Salivate.
Before you had children?
Yeah, when I was pregnant. And this happened. And then, I'm not going to tell you exactly what happens, but you'll know when it happens, the ring of fire. And so, like, my whole labour, when's it coming, when's it coming? And then when it came, the ring of fire, and anyone who's had that kind of childbirth will know what I mean. And I went, it's happening, the ring of fire. And she went, told ya. But I think, you know, it's such a huge experience giving birth that to not share it. I mean, if I've known a woman for any amount of time and they've got children, I haven't spoken about their birth, I'm going to be a bit cautious, because I think it's just something that we go through and that we share.
Yeah.
Although I think with a young person, though, who is pregnant and with the first child, I think it's a bit cruel, I think, to sort of put the fear of God into them as to what might happen.
Yeah, I don't think you should put the... Well, my sister is very, very, very cruel, my older sister, but I don't think it's about putting the fear of God. But I remember somebody that I knew who said she felt let down by other women because it was such a shock when she went into childbirth, and she had literally done the hearts and flowers and roses. And the thing is, what I do now is I will say where it was difficult for me with my first birth and why it was, because I wasn't prepared, and then I'll give the positive story of my second birth, which was so amazing. And they actually use that story now in the National Health. They use my story.
Of the second one?
Yeah, the second one, because... And I do say to women when they're pregnant, oh, you're so amazing, you're just standing there and you're growing eyelashes, and then you're going to have this birth, and it's...
That always makes you feel a bit sick.
Don't say contractions, say rush, say you're having a wave, and that wave is going to bring you a baby, and I do all of that.
Yeah, I mean, the notion that you can ban people from telling you about their own experience is a complete nonsense, isn't it? And also, you just take it with a pinch of salt. No two births are the same. Yeah. So just because somebody has a bad time doesn't mean to say that you will. And it's like whenever you say, I'm going to the dentist, everyone goes, don't they? Oh,
you haven't
let me tell you about when I went to the dentist. And off they go about the drill slipped. I ended up in A&E.
Instead. That's a much better
Do you know what I mean, though? It's like... And because when you're telling a story, it has to be dramatic.
Yeah.
You know, that's the whole point of getting the attention of the group. So I always take that with a pinch of salt. And I think you're right. I think there is an element of... Because you do hear about a lot of baby blues comes from somebody going in with a very perfect idea of how their birth is going to be, and it's not like that.
Yeah. And then they feel a failure.
And then they feel a failure. So if you've actually over-egged it and gone, oh, my God, when they have an OK time, they'll come out and go, oh, well, that was all right then.
Yeah. I got banned from a pregnancy yoga class.
Why are we not surprised
I'm
at that?
so embarrassed about this, because I really was mortified when the yoga teacher rang me, because I'd had my first birth that had been much more challenging, let's say, and I was sitting in the coffee break in the yoga class going, oh, my God, just you wait. Oh, it's so awful. Oh, I don't think I've ever recovered to see myself as a survivor of torture. You know, I was doing all of that. And it wasn't till she banned me and told me off and everything that I thought, yeah, actually, I mean, I hated her initially, but I thought she's got a point.
Did you go back?
Point. People are there, women are there trying to breathe and trying to get focused and trying to get centred.
We don't need Nadia Sawala going,
it's torture.
Did you ever go back?
No, God, no.
I guess people also look for it on Google as well, you know, when you're about to give, but you do kind of look for stories.
What's
don't
the
you?
worst thing that can happen?
Yeah, so we did a poll. Are you fed up with hearing childbirth horror stories? 61% said yes.
Oh.
39 no, obviously. And we had quite a few comments. Rachel, yes, I'm due in December. Trying to completely ignore any birth stories. Everyone is different, and I'll get the info I need from midwife and classes. Jenny, horror stories are not needed, but I do think mums need to be better prepared for the reality and the simple fact that it is extremely painful.
But you see, actually, you raised a lot of points in that, or the viewers have, because yes, as you mentioned, everything is different. But on the other hand, like when I was started to have babies, we knew nothing really. I mean, we didn't have antenatal classes, we didn't have any information. And what I think is marvellous now for young mothers is that you have all that available to you if you want it.
If you want it.
Yes.
I think that's the thing. It's about choice.